What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Hunter podcast. This is Logan Romney, your host as always, and I'm super excited to talk to you today. I've had a great week, and I'm recording this the day before this podcast episode is going to drop. Last week we had a really awesome episode with Brian Barney, which was kind of a huge guest for me, and I was really excited for it and excited to share it with you guys. And I think it turned out pretty good. I've got some good compliments on that episode. So pretty stoked on that. This week, man, if you noticed, I just posted a video talking about how to talk to the camera and some different things to say. And maybe I'll cover a little bit of it in this episode just to kind of fill some time. I think it's a really good point to bring up. If you haven't seen my last vlog video, it's titled like things you need to say to the camera when filming a hunt. And I'm out scouting, and I first of all found a really nice buck that might have some potential in the fall. And then I put up a few trail cameras. So watch that video. I think I will touch on it here in this podcast episode. If I have time on kind of those things, but if I don't get to it, go watch that video. It's a great little video talking about how you can talk to the camera, what you should be saying to the camera when you're filming your own hunt or someone else's hunt, and I think it's great for a lot of people. So, gotta get my focus here. So, today, the main topic of this episode is I wanted to talk about what is on my chest in my chest harness when I'm filming a hunt. So this is the rig right here. This is the FHF gear chest pouch. You can kind of see some of the size of it if you're watching the video. Basically, it's just a big chest pouch. It replaces the Bino harness. So I don't need to use the Bino harness when I'm filming a hunt, because what I really need is access to batteries and camera gear. I don't really need access to my binoculars all the time. So let me throw this on and I'll show you guys how I pack it. I've got it packed right now. It is late summer, so I haven't done a hunt for a couple months. And when I'm on my own hunts, I don't really have this with me because I usually have a Bino harness on. But this is when I'm filming other people's hunts, what I have right here. So you can see it fits just exactly like a Bino harness would. Right in the chest in the perfect spot. It's not in the way of your backpack straps or anything like that. So there's two main compartments on this. So you have your main zipper, which opens up to the whole thing, and then I have this little, this is the E4 pouch strapped onto the front with the molly. So in the main pocket, this is the big one. It opens up really nice and big. You can see in the video. And a few things right off the bat that I've got ready to go. This right here is SD cards. So I have all my SD cards handy. That's one of the things you really want to make sure you have ready on a hunt, because if you're filming a hunt and you run out of storage in a critical moment, you need to be able to really quickly grab a new SD card, swap it out, and be back filming, because you don't want to miss those critical moments on a hunt. Because you can't redo those moments. So making sure to have SD cards and batteries handy are the two biggest things. And we'll get to batteries in a second. Next thing in here on this side is my ND filter. So I'll throw this on like sunny days, and it helps my camera settings. I'm not going to go in depth on how it works right now, but if you want your footage to look more cinematic and you want like that blurry background in the middle of the day, you want to get an ND filter. And they're really nice. I mean, I use an ND filter all the time. The hard part sometimes is that some of the ND filters make your photos look a little funny with the colors, but they make your videos look really good. So something to keep in mind when it comes to that stuff. But anyways, in the bottom here, I have a full rain cover just for my chest harness. So if it's getting rainy or anything, I'll throw that on. Another thing that I have usually in my pack is a camera cover, because just this in this spring, literally a couple months ago, I usually, when it's raining, I usually don't put a cover on my camera, because cameras are pretty tough these days. They can do pretty good in like rainy, cold weather, but they're not perfect. And I had a camera, the shutter button broke on the camera, so I wasn't able to actually take a picture. And luckily, it wasn't on an actual hunt, but it's something that I am a little more aware of now and going to be more aware of in the future, is making sure my camera stay dry when it's raining. Moving on here, just a power bank. So whether it's my phone I need to charge, or even like a camera battery, I have this power bank ready to go. And then next, there's another zipper pocket on the inside here. This is where I have all of my extra cords and cables and all that jazz. Bunch of stuff. So I got extra audio cables, charging cables, all the different kinds, the iPhone cord. That's mainly it. Is just extra cables that I need, just in case I need to use them to charge stuff, or audio cable goes out maybe. Then I've just got it here handy, ready to go. And that zips up just in that pocket. So that's mainly what I have in this main pocket. There is still a bit of room in here. Sometimes I will throw in maybe a pair of binoculars, like a small pair of binoculars. I'm trying to think of anything else that I've put in here before. Maybe a lens. Sometimes I've thrown in like one of the small lenses, like a nifty 50 or something like that. They'll fit inside here, or like the GoPro. I'll have the GoPro in there sometimes. And that's pretty much it for that main pouch. Now this front pouch right here has some sweet stuff from FHF gear. So I have Allen wrenches. This is just for like tripods, tripod mounts to go on like spotting scopes and camera bodies. So if you need to hurry up and tighten a mount for some reason, tripod or the Allen wrenches are right there. And then on the other side, right here, I have this little tool, which is exactly the same thing, but it's just like a flathead screwdriver that's long enough that it can tighten any of that kind of stuff. And then this is where I have my batteries. So I usually keep at least 2 or 3 extra fully charged batteries in the pouch here in the front. That way, if I need to switch batteries quickly, I can do it. And all I gotta do, they're right here. I just open it up, switch battery, good to go. And then I also have like a lens cloth in the front here. And I have, I think, actually a couple lens cloths in a couple of the pockets on the big pouch too. Yep. So that's the main run through. That's pretty quick. So 9 minutes right there, and you've got the full run through of the whole pouch. Now there's other pouches. I have buddies that use different brands too, but I really like the FHF gear one because it's pretty modular. On the bottom, there's a molly strip, so if I'm in bear country, I will throw on a can of bear spray on the bottom. And then yeah, depending on the exact conditions of the hunt or the type of film we're doing, might change a little bit of what's inside here, but that is the basics and what's in here all the time. Every time I film a hunt for someone. I wanted to also talk about on this episode battery management in the backcountry, I've got a couple questions about this. So I kind of wanted to just bring it up, talk a little bit about it. There's a few options, and I'm going to go through everything. First of all is just bringing enough batteries to last the whole trip. That's the easiest option. But if you're on anything more than like 6, 7, 8 days, it adds up to a lot of batteries. I mean, you're going to be taking at least 12 to 15 batteries minimum if you're doing like a 10-day hunt. And depending on the type of hunt, that might last you the whole time. And for myself, if I'm going on a 10-day hunt and I have 15 batteries, it's probably going to last me the whole time. But just in case, there's some important things to know, is like how to charge camera batteries in the backcountry. And this will also help if you just don't have the budget to have that many batteries, because batteries, they're expensive, and it kind of sucks. But luckily, over the years, I've built up a little collection of batteries, and there's actually some aftermarket batteries that are pretty dang sweet right now. So, and I want to talk about that too, those aftermarket batteries. I don't have any, but I'm going to bring it up. So I usually have a pouch like this loaded with batteries. So I'll have like all my batteries for my trip in here. I think I own like 12 to 15, something like that, batteries. I don't know exactly how many I got right now, but I'll have pretty much all of my batteries in that bag, and then I'll have my extra batteries in my chest pouch, so that I'm always ready to go with batteries. And then basically every day I will just take my old batteries, put them in a separate pouch so they're not getting mixed up with the charged batteries, and just restock my chest pouch with new batteries. And that's how I roll through the system. Now, if I'm on a hunt and I either run out of battery power or I don't have enough batteries and I need to charge them on the hunt, there's two options. First of all, I don't have one of these, but I'll put a picture of it. It's just a portable charger that's a USB, has a USB cord that goes into it, and you can charge, I think, up to 2 batteries at a time. I have used them before on hunts, and they do work. I've used like solar panels to charge batteries with those. I've also used power banks. These dark energy power banks actually work pretty dang well, and you can get you can charge your batteries up quite a bit with power banks or solar panels. So that's one way to do it. The other way is if you have a power bank that has enough juice, you can use a USB-C to USB-C cord, just like this one right here. And if your camera has a USB-C plug-in, most of the time you can just plug in your power bank straight to your camera, and it'll actually charge the battery that's in your camera. There's a few like quirks to it. You should try it before you rely on it, of course. Some of the things is like your power bank needs to have enough output that your camera actually registers that it will charge your battery. It's definitely going to depend on the camera, and maybe not all cameras can do this. And I've never had to do it, but I know guys that do it all the time. So that's the other way to do it. The other thing that I wanted to get back to was those aftermarket batteries like I was talking about. I'm gonna look it up right now, but I'm pretty sure it's so I pulled up the company. It's Tilta, Tilta. They make camera accessories and aftermarket stuff, but they just came out with a portable charging station for camera batteries, for Sony's, for Canons, which is awesome, and there's probably a couple others they make them for. I'll try and throw a picture of this, but it kind of looks like an AirPod case, and then you can throw your batteries in it, and then it charges 4 batteries at once. And then what's actually crazy is that your individual batteries have a USB-C port built into them, so you can charge the battery just off of a USB-C port, which is insane. super cool, and they're so much cheaper than the like Canon LPE6 regular batteries. Like this Canon battery, I think costs like $80. These batteries they're selling on here are like $30 a piece, which is pretty crazy. So that's rad. That's something that I would definitely look into if you are looking for more batteries and you need a better solution for backcountry batteries, because I don't know if they're gonna last as long as like actual Canon or like an actual brand battery, Sony, Canon, Nikon, whatever you shoot on. They might not be quite as good, but you have that capability of recharging them, which is pretty sweet. So I'm just looking through their website right now, and it's pretty rad. I would look into that, and I might try and get some this year, depending on what I need. That pretty much wraps up the main things I wanted to cover today. Like I said, I do want to jump back and talk about some of the talking to the camera stuff, because I think it's an important thing that people can really benefit from. At least I hope so. I've never heard anyone else say think about it and talk about it the way that I think and talk about it, and so and I really like the way that I do it. The only other way to do it that I know of is just like trial and error. Just do it enough times that you get good enough at talking to the camera. So I have 3 super easy things that I cover in every single camera interview that I do, and they're super easy to remember. So it's you want to cover the past, the present, and the future. Those are the 3 things that you want to talk about in every single camera interview update that you do, and so it's easy. So you talk about. I'll give you some examples right now. So we talk about the past. So an example would be we woke up this morning and we hiked to the glassing knob. That's a super short example, right? Like 2 sentences or two little phrases that cover what's happened from the last time you either talked to the camera or the last event that happened to now. And then you cover the present. So the present could be short. Here's another example, is like we're sitting here, or we're just getting our glassing stuff set up to glass. Okay, boom, that's the present. And then the covering the past or the future is we're gonna sit here and we're gonna glass till about noon, and hopefully we find something. So that's super simple version. Obviously, you can expound as much as you want on this depending on your style of filming and hunting. So I'll give you an example of all 3 combined and doing a little bit more talking, but it's like, so we got up at about 4:30 this morning. Sunrise is at 5:30, and we had about 2 miles to hike in. So we got up at 4:30 and we hiked in 2 miles. We got here at about the perfect time. It's just starting to get light. We're getting our glassing stuff set up just in case we see something right off the bat. We're gonna be ready to go. This is a really good spot. It's a spot that I've hunted the last couple of years, and we've taken some nice bucks out of here. So we're gonna stay here for at least till noon, and if we find something, obviously gonna go after it and try and get it done. Otherwise, we're just gonna be patient and stay here for a while and just see what we can find. So right there, I covered past, present, future, and I went into a little bit more detail in every one, and you can do as much detail as you want. That's totally up to you. But if you're struggling to come up with things to say when you're talking to the camera while you're filming your hunt, that's gonna get you like the best base that you can have. It's just think about covering those 3 things, and you might even want to, if you're really struggling, okay, just be like, all right, I'm just gonna talk about the past for a second. Talk about the past, and then pause. Just like reset, think in your mind, okay, now what's the present? And you can just edit this stuff together later. Obviously, on your editing stuff, so you can cut out whatever you need, whatever you don't like. If you need to restart something, just pause, start over, redo it again. Because you can cut it all out, and you can cut out the stuff that didn't sound good and that you didn't like, and you can just keep the stuff that you liked. That's the beauty of filming yourself and editing yourself and everything. And you will get better at this over time. To me, I don't even think about it anymore. That's just like how I talk when I'm talking to the camera. Is I talk about what happened, I talk about what's happening right now, and I talk about what's going to happen next. And you'll get better at it. Something along with this is how often should you be doing updates to the camera? The answer is as much as freaking possible, right? Because you can always cut out any updates you do later, but you can never do an update after it's passed. So I will do an update anytime an event or something changes in the hunt. So I wake up, I do an update. I start hiking, I do an update. I get to where I wanted to hike, I do an update. I spot something, I do an update. And I might do, who knows, 10 to 20 updates throughout the whole day. And then when I get back and I'm editing, I might only use 5 of those, right? But at least I have all 5 of those to tell that story, or I have options to tell that story, and I'm not lacking on anything throughout the day. Not every single time I talk to the camera, I'm doing that type of update. Sometimes I am trying to give some education to the camera, some advice about hunting, about what I'm looking for, what I'm doing, some camera stuff, and then I'm getting a lot of B-roll as well throughout the day. And I'm trying to get a few B-roll clips for every time I do an update to the camera. And if I am talking to the camera, I am also consciously thinking, what am I talking about, and how do I get a video clip to go over top of this if I want one? So if I'm talking about hiking up the hill, I'm going to get some video clips of me or whoever I'm with hiking up the hill. And this is also a huge part about filming someone else's hunt too. As you're filming someone and they're talking to the camera, what they're saying, you should have footage to go over it. You may not use all of it, but you should at least try to get enough B-roll footage to cover everything that they're talking about. Especially, at least all of the actionable items that you guys are doing, glassing, hiking, getting waters, whatever it is, setting up camp. B-roll, everything. Have video footage of everything, right? And you will get better at this as you do it more too. And one of the hard parts that I've had in the past is filming my own hunts, because it's so much harder to get B-roll. Because it's like, if you want to get footage of yourself hiking, you can hold the camera and you can film your feet walk in, but like everyone does that. So to get something unique is you got to like set up a tripod and then walk back, put your backpack on, walk past it or whatever, right? And it's kind of funny and it kind of feels dorky when you're doing it, but that's what it takes to get that B-roll. You gotta set up, when you're glassing, set up the camera in a sweet spot with a good angle. You could do a time lapse of yourself glassing, whatever it is. Getting that B-roll while you are solo hunting is a little bit tough. You gotta be creative and you gotta be okay feeling like kind of an idiot, but luckily most of the time no one's going to be watching you when you're in the woods hunting. But you got to just get a little bit uncomfortable and just get it done. And for me, it's getting over the laziness factor of it, of like, man, I just don't want to set up that tripod, take my pack off, walk back and forth. It's going to take an extra 3 minutes to do it. And that's something I've had to try and get over more, because that's a big struggle of mine. It's just like, it takes more time to get that footage. Sometimes when you're hunting, you don't have the time, but most of the time you got 2-3 minutes to set up a shot and get it real quick. So I think that's most of what I wanted to cover on that front as well. I went into a little bit more depth on here than I did in the video. So that's awesome. I mean, this is a podcast, a little bit different type of style than a video is. So I'm glad that we got to cover that here in this podcast episode. We're at 25 minutes, so we're doing pretty good. Probably going to wrap it up for this week. Next week I've got a guest coming on. I'm recording on Monday. And then I have another guest that I'm trying to get lined up for the next week. So, and what's great is these next two guests, if they work out, are awesome guests for, like, they're both camera guys, creative guys in the industry that you guys will probably know of. So I'm pretty stoked to get those guys on the podcast. I'm trying to get a few of guys that are a little bit more in the creative side of the industry, because I have a handful of people on who are good hunters and who hunt a lot, but sometimes I don't have as many people on who are creatives. So pretty stoked about that. If you know of anyone that would be awesome guests, definitely hit me up, leave a comment on who you think would be a good guest on a future episode, and I'd love to reach out and get them on for you guys. Also, if you ever have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm going to be doing some Q&A episodes every maybe month or two, just going over some questions that people have. I got a lot of questions on Instagram, a lot of questions about camera stuff, what camera should I buy, all that jazz. And so I want to answer some of that stuff for you guys, questions that you have. So yeah, with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I hope this helped you guys on your journey, trying to become a better hunter, photographer, filmmaker, whatever it is. And definitely let me know if you got some value out of this. And we'll see you guys next week.